Spoiler warning! Alright, yeah, that's probably the most annoying spoiler warning I've ever made. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. Haha. Alright, we're less than 24 hours away from The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 5. And up until this point, and I don't know what's going to happen further, but let's speculate a little bit, shall we? Up until this point, the show has been centered around Omega and Crosshair, trying to find their way back home to their brothers and getting off of Tantus and just becoming something different than what they are. Prisoners. Yeah, nobody likes to be prisoners. But there's something about Crosshair that's really crossed my mind lately. Yeah, and it's all about his remorse. Yes, don't run away. I know he's showing remorse for not being with his brothers this entire time, his remorse for staying with the Empire after Order 66, and all that good stuff. So don't think that's what I'm talking about. He does have remorse. And Crosshair is becoming one of my favorite characters in the Bad Batch because of the development he's showing. He's showing more development than Hunter or Wrecker. Yes, Hunter became more like a father figure, where Wrecker's more like an uncle now rather than a big, strong brute. He still has his brutish moments. But Crosshair is showing something more, a real change. And before I get into it, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. And that sponsor is me. Why am I the sponsor? Because I pay for the crap around here. That's why I pay for the stuff. I get to sponsor my own videos. That's how it goes. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like, comment, share it with some friends, some enemies, share it with your dog, your cat. I don't care. Just share it. Yeah. Let's see if we can make some people mad. Share it with people that don't like the Bad Batch. They'll love this. Anyways, let's get on with Crosshair. So Crosshair has shown more development than any of the other clones of Clone Force 99 in the Bad Batch Season 3 so far. And since I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, probably bigger than the likes of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Brie Larson, or Dave Filoni himself, oh man, those words burned coming out of my mouth. No, I'm not a bigger Star Wars nerd than probably Dave Filoni. He's probably my equal or better. I'm just teasing Dave Filoni. I know you're a bigger nerd. But there's something that I caught on to recently that is easy to miss because we've been focused on the story at hand and everything that's happening in the moment. Not so much progression, but we have noticed that Crosshair is progressing as a character. He's showing a little bit of remorse for what he did to his brothers, like I mentioned before, and that maybe Omega is even convincing him to be remorseful other than his electroshock therapy. I think that helped out a little bit too. But Omega, being the positive energy that she is, has helped him out. But there's something even bigger, and that's that Crosshair has really shown no remorse for Order 66. Yeah, let that sink in for a moment. But we've been hem-hauling around the whole issue of Crosshair tried to kill Caleb Doom during Order 66. If you don't know who that is, that's Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars Rebels as a child. He wasn't a child in Rebels. He was a child in the Bad Batch. Then he became an adult in Rebels. Yeah, you guys already know all this. Why am I reiterating it? Anyways, so Crosshair's not showing any remorse for what he felt about the Jedi. He even felt that way after he had his chip removed in the Bad Batch Season 2. Now, I don't think this is going to create a huge issue, but it does have the potential to create a little bit of drama between the brothers. The two brothers, Hunter and Wrecker, saw Caleb Doom as this poor innocent guy that was getting ready to be killed by clones for some unknown reason at the time. Yes, they understood it was the chip later on and had those malfunctioned or whatever and removed. But Crosshair even said to Commander Cody that these clones that are rebelling against the Empire are traitors, just like the Jedi. And at this time, Crosshair is starting to get an inkling that the Empire isn't all good, but he's still playing along with Palpatine's silly freaking game. And he's still loyal to the Empire because it's what he knows. It's what he was brought up for. It's what he was created for. But there's no remorse now that he's leaving the Empire for what had happened to the Jedi. And that's a big deal. That can be a bigger deal because Hunter and Wrecker do care about the Jedi, and they tried to help one at one time, and they'll probably try to help others. Now, does that mean that Crosshair is going to figure out that Omega is Force sensitive and then see her as a traitor to the Empire? Well, he's not a part of the Empire anymore, but he still has that mindset that the Jedi were bad and tried to take over the galaxy, no matter who was in charge of the galaxy at the time. And at the time of Order 66, it was still called the Republic, even if just by name, and it had been for a few years since Palpatine became Chancellor. It was always the Empire at that time, but he just kept the Republic name to keep himself incognito and make it look like he's this good, innocent Chancellor/Senator. But Crosshair hasn't changed his opinion, because at the time that Order 66 happened, it was during the Republic by name, and those Jedi were trying to take over the Republic. It wasn't about the Empire at that time, and Crosshair saw them as a threat. Now, I don't know if I'm getting my point across very well, but look at it this way. Crosshair was told the Jedi were bad. They were trying to take over the galaxy, and to his point of view, yeah, I guess you could see it that way, because they tried to kill Palpatine, and they tried to take over the Senate and seize control and all that stuff. So it doesn't matter who's in charge at the time, the Jedi are still seen as people who are going to try to take the galaxy over, not give it back to the Republic, not give it to the Empire, and all that stuff. Where Hunter and Wrecker are going to want to help Jedi because they see them as innocents in trouble, and they're the helpful type. Not to mention Omega is Force sensitive, so they kind of have a kinship with her, a little bond with that sort of people. Yeah, those pesky Jedi trying to get in the way, mucking stuff up. Crosshair's going to see right through them. But they may not even go this path. They may not even touch on it again for Crosshair's remaining time. And yes, I do believe Crosshair is going to meet an untimely death. And I think that's probably going to happen with all the brothers in the Bad Batch. And that leads me to another point that another friend of mine on another channel pointed out, that possibly Omega could wind up with Ventress and even possibly Quinlan Voss. Two Force users who know how to balance the light and dark, because they have both been a part of the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. Makes sense to me. I love that theory, and I'm going to stick with it. And my buddy Brandon, thank you for that. It's not mine, but it sounds great to me. But what do you guys think? Is Crosshair going to show remorse for what had happened during Order 66, his attempt on Caleb Doom / Kanan Jarrus' life, or is he just going to ignore that fact and everybody else ignore the fact that that happened? I don't think it needs to be hit on. I think it just needs, maybe a tiny bit of attention. I don't know. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video and share the video with some Lord of the Rings fans. Yeah, they need to get into Star Wars. Why? Because it's freaking Star Wars, baby. And it's better than Lord of the Rings. Heh, yeah, I said it. Thank you guys. This is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way. And positivity in Star Wars can be the only way.